What's up guys, Dink here. Just wanted to make a video about some information and maybe some inspiration for you guys that are maybe having trouble leveling up your game, or you're just kind of in a slump, or you're really just not really where you want to be, and maybe you have goals that you're not really achieving. So I just kind of wanted to share my outlook on some of that. I've been doing tournaments for about 5 years now, starting in 2011, as I'm sure some of you know. But I've been constantly trying to level up and get my game better since 2004. So it's been about 12 years for me that I've been doing this, which is not a whole lot compared to a lot of the other guys, but I'd say I'm staying out there in the NRS community for sure. So, I mean, you start playing the game and you start playing online, you play a couple friends, and you start to get some wins and everything's going good. And then you usually stumble across like one or two people that just give you an absolute ass whooping, and you, like something you've never seen before, and you're like, well, shit. And sometimes it kind of makes you question your skills or your abilities, or sometimes it inspires you, and you're like, oh man, like I want to be that good. How do I be that good? And there's a couple things that you should know to get to that level. So the main things are just like any top player will tell you, is just practice, watching yourself play, and experience. So it all depends on what your goals are. If you just want to play online and you want to be like the king of ranked matches, and you just want to do ranked matches and be #1 on the ranked leaderboards, and you're cool with that, then cool. Then you'll want to practice, you'll want to play online all the time, you'll want to always play people better than you, to try and get better. Because if you play people, I mean, it's hard to say that without sounding arrogant. You do want to play people that aren't on your level, because you want to help them, especially if you're a part of a team or something like that. You want to help your friend succeed, and I find personally that if I'm helping a friend or a teammate or something get better, it's like a little refresher in my mind of like, I'm always constantly working on something when I'm playing. Like I'll be working, right now I'm working on my conversions and anti-airs, and I'm really happy with how they're coming along. But I'm always working on something. Sometimes it's my combos, sometimes it's my spacing. Something that, for example, I was helping a teammate with the other day is jumping. That's something I haven't worked on in a long time, but it was something that it was really hurting me, as I jumped a lot, and helping a teammate, and realizing that that's an issue, or helping someone who's not as good as you, it kind of refreshes your mind on these smaller things. So don't just avoid everybody who you beat often, because there's always gain in playing everybody. But playing the ones that are better than you, they're going to force you to figure it out. But you can't get discouraged. You can't quit after 3 hard losses. You have to stick it out, try something new every match, and every match that you play, just pay real close attention to that match. If you're on like a 16 fight losing streak, don't focus on the fact that you're on a 16 fight losing streak. Just focus on what's happening in the match. If you're getting outspaced, think about in your head of a move that you're going to do before you're actually going to do it. Like, say, like you see him doing a combo string. While he's doing that combo string, say, okay, I'm going to counter this with projectile, or I'm going to counter this with an uppercut or something like that. And that way, if you know ahead of time what you're going to do, you can see what kind of success you have with it, and then you can, if it's punished, you say, okay, I was going to do the uppercut after he did this string, but it got punished because it's unsafe, or the spacing wasn't what I thought it was. But you need to be taking mental notes or physical notes. Write them down. I can't write like physical notes because I'm unorganized. I'll lose them. I just have to keep playing and keep drilling into my head. That's how I learn. But a lot of people do like to write stuff down, and kind of keeps them. I don't know what the word is. It's comfortable, something to look at, something to go back to, because maybe they don't have the best memories, so write them down. Yeah, it's just continually playing, continually challenging yourself. If you have a local scene, go to your local scene. If online isn't where you kind of want to end up, if you want to maybe try out a tournament, then go to try and get to your local scene as often as you can. there's pretty much everywhere in North America has some sort of a local scene. Europe has a few of them. You know, you can contact me if you need to know where to go. You can either send me a message on Twitter or, you know, something like that. @ShootJinkyDink is my Twitter. Um, but yeah, pretty much everywhere in North America has some sort of a scene that should be within driving distance-ish to you. There's a few exceptions, but and then Europe, of course, has a few as well. Because there's a huge difference from playing casuals with your friends and playing online and to playing on tournament. And I'm not talking about lag and online timing and stuff like that. That's different. That's a factor as well, but that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is if you want to get into doing tournaments, you're going to have to deal with people watching you that you don't know. Like if you're at a tournament, some random people might just walk up and watch a match, and might, you know, you're sitting next to somebody, you're sitting next to another person, and that presence there is huge, and that's a big part of playing a tournament. You know, anyone that watches me play in tournament, when I play win, lose, or draw, I don't think I've ever had a draw, but in case I ever do, I almost never show emotion when I play. I try very hard not to. You might get like a slight nod out of me if I see that you punished something unsafe that I did, and it's just, you know, me recognizing that that, you know, I did something wrong, got punished. It's like, okay, good stuff. This guy's pretty good. He knows what he's doing. I need to adjust some stuff. Constantly thinking, you know, the more like I see people who are, you know, super emotional and they lose and they're like, oh fuck, and then they still have a game to play, and then you just, you know, that you saw them just throw their arms up or like hit their controller or something like that. You know, I have done that from time to time, but generally I do stay pretty calm. And that's important because as a tournament player myself, I rely on that against my opponent, and I win the majority of my pools matches against inexperienced tournament players by reading their body language, and I can see when they're frustrated, I can see when they're out of their element, I can see where they're not having a good time, or they're concerned or worried. So I feed off that, and then you know, you can sometimes adjust your gameplay a little bit to kind of cater to that more. But if you want to go to a major tournament and you want to go above the local scene and you want to go to like a tournament like Evo or Combo Breaker or CEO or Final Round or any of these big major tournaments, you need to get that tournament experience first, because you can't just go to a major and, you know, just expect to do well, because all of these aspects, if you have not experienced them before, it can be extremely overwhelming. I remember gentleman by the name of CR Dragon, who's super successful now, but you know, he started out in just a local scene, and I watched him go to his first event, and you know, he did pretty well there. You know, I don't think he broke into the top 3 or anything, but you know, he got out there, and then the more experience he got, the more experience he kind of leveled up his game, and you know, now he's got lots of experience and he's doing really well. So it's just stories like that you kind of see. And there are one-offs, you know. Some guys, you know, they're, I don't know if it's confidence or if they're just born special or something, but they just have the ability to go out and do well right away. And, you know, maybe you're that person, but you'll never know that if you don't practice and you don't, you know, try and get out to these events, because that's super important. But above all else, you can't give up. You can't get discouraged, and okay, you can get discouraged. That's okay. It's all right to feel that way, but don't let it stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. And that goes with anything in life, really. If you want something, go for it. It's okay to feel down about failures and you know, that kind of thing, but you need to learn from that, and you need to move on, and you know, have your downtime. That's okay. Take a break if you need to. But you need to assess that failure in order to achieve your successes, and that's really where I see a lot of people kind of stutter, and myself, I've had that problem too, where, you know, I'm having, you know, I lose and I fail to go back and see why I lost. I'm just more focused on I lose. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just focus on the next time, I'll do better next time, but I don't go back and see why I failed in the first place. So that's what another thing I've been focusing on a lot lately, is going back and seeing what I've been doing wrong, and watching all the footage of me losing and analyzing it, and seeing the holes in my game and patching them up, and that's super important. But yeah, you know, don't give up. You know, you're all solid players no matter what level you're at, and you know, if You'll never achieve greatness, and you'll never know how good you can be if you don't let yourself get there. No one that ever did anything great knew they were going to do it. We're all born, and we all just live our lives, and persistence is key. So, keep it up. You're a good person, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. So, that's just a little rant for today. Hopefully I didn't bore your socks off. If you're still watching this by now, you're awesome. Hashtag Bonehawks. And I'll be at Majors this year. Northwest Majors, of course. I run that event, so if you're in the... I don't run the event, but I'm part of the NRS team for that particular event. So if you're in the Seattle, Washington area, somewhere around there, you should definitely come out and check it out. April 29th to May 1st. I'm going to try my best to be at Combo Breaker in Chicago this year as well. May 29th, I think, Memorial Day weekend, whenever that is. And then, of course, Evo for July 15th weekend. So 3 majors for me this year, and then my locals in Seattle in between. And, with the KP2 coming out, hopefully they do another season of ESL, but we'll see. I'd like to compete in that as well. So, love you guys, and we will see you in the next video.